Thank you for joining us for another episode of Cryptocurrent. Just one quick reminder. Cryptocurrent is a cryptocurrency and blockchain education platform that's bridging the gap between the curious newcomers who are just discovering the space and the thought leaders who are shaping its future. All opinions expressed by Richard Carthon, the Cryptocurrent team, and their guests on this show are exclusively their own opinions. You should not treat any opinion expressed by Richard, the team, and their guests as a specific inducement to make a particular investment or to follow his financial advice. This show and any other Cryptocurrent production is exclusively for informational purposes.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Cryptocurrent. Your host here, Richard Carthon. And today I have a very special guest all the way out in Istanbul, Turkey, who is moving to Austin, Texas pretty soon. So I'm excited to be able to meet in real life, but working on a really cool project with Proof of Interest, which is a newbie for me. And I'm excited to learn more about it. We have Kerim Kaya with FirstBatch. How are you doing today?
Thank you, Richard. First of all, thanks for the opportunity. It is great to be here as a fan of cryptocurrency, and everything is fine right now. We are building with our team, and as you said, we are moving to States, to Austin, Texas, by the way. So maybe we have a coffee in the mirror.
Oh, absolutely. Looking forward to it. And actually just want to learn a little bit more about you. Can you give us a little bit of background on yourself?
Yeah, of course. I'm a Yale dropout. I dropped out from Yale and then come back to Turkey to study computer science and economics. And when I was studying, I was working as an entrepreneur. And the thing that caught my attention in early 2016 is social networks. And when nobody's talking about communities, myself and my co-founder, and he's FirstBatch C2 as well, we are working for like 6.5 years together. And we were always interested about communities, anonymous or pseudonymous identities, and how to find crucial data points within social networks like TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, you name it. And we built a startup on it. And then we scaled the startup over a team of 30 and over a revenue of $3.5 million of ARR. And then we got into Forbes 30 under 30. And you know the network effect, right? So like lots of Fortune 500 call you and they are asking for your product, for your infrastructure. And within, I believe until 2019, we have provided different data and business intelligence for 50 plus Fortune 500 companies. But the thing is, everything was going well, but it was, let's say, not that exciting. Why? Because we were working on communities, but we were providing this data to classical B2B SaaS model to Fortune 500s, but the ownership was coming really fast, right? We were like the ICO craze is finished and new data layers, Web3 platforms were emerging, and we would say, hey, Omer, do you want to jump in? Like, let's take a risk and like just jumped into crypto. And in 2019, we jumped into crypto and we have worked with a venture label builder. We built infrastructures, we built tokenomics model. And in the meantime, I have worked with Animoca Brands, Speed Ventures, and different kind of venture capitals in venture building. And in late 2020, we say that, all right, this is our place. Let's apply our skills into a protocol. And for 1.5 years, we have been working on FirstBatch to build something interesting. Let's say.
Really awesome background, and everything that you've done to this point has led to FirstBatch. Yale dropout, you start working on a bunch of different data sets, looking at social media, and get into Forbes 30 under 30. And then you found out about the world of Web3, and you said, wow, here's a really cool opportunity. And you decide to dive in 2019 during a bear market. So like the fact that you looked at this was like, wow, I see the value in this. And then to be able to see basically from that bear market going into the end of 2020, as we were going into the latest bull cycle that just happened. Talk about timing, right? So you're putting your head down, you're building infrastructure, you're building this tool. So what was that gap? What was that missing element that you saw and said, I want to create FirstBatch to help fix this challenge?
Yeah, great question. So when we were working on Web2 networks, we see what centralized networks doing really well was calculating the social alignments of big data sets. Like what I mean by that is understanding who am I, who you are, and how we are aligned with each other, right? And this leads to great creations within Instagram, let's say, great suggestions and navigation mechanism that we have right now. But the problem everybody knows is ownership is not in our hands. It is on their hands.
Right.
So when I look at crypto and looked at like what is identity right now, it is going to be, and within 10 years, what is going to be the main challenges that crypto is going to have. And in 2020, we see that there has to be a bridge. What I mean by that is we are not going to have the data of Web2 like for many years. Like bullet data, it is beautiful, it is really efficient, but it is too narrow. So, but within the Web2 socials, I saw the like really interesting opportunity to calculate the social alignments of people. Why? Because we are interacting with communities within Web2 socials, Twitter, Discord, Reddit, you name it, TikTok. And we see that if we utilize this big data and utilize different kind of technologies like zero knowledge proofs, on-chain technologies, we can onboard attestations, personalities, and interests of a user instantly. And maybe we can do it for a millions of users base in a really scalability way. And since 2020, we are working on our AI, on persona detection, on these bridging mechanisms, and also zero knowledge proofs to create a security layer for FirstBatch to protect users' anonymity and pseudonymity. And yeah, here it is.
So you discovered this challenge in Web2 where we are essentially the product. As a person that goes onto a social network and you're putting out all this information, the infrastructure is the one that kind of reaps the benefit of having this data. So now as we go to Web3 and you can control a lot more and be a lot more empowered with the data that you're putting out, you want to be able to have users collect their own data or have it in such a way that they can now claim the benefits of the data they're submitting. Is that kind of sum up or?
Yeah. The thing is, we want to create an AI that does by connecting your socials to your wallets, and create a great attestation set and personal set for yourself. What I mean by that is, in today's case with identity protocols, you have to grind a lot. You have to make claims for who you are, claim for attestations, and then you are going to have, let's say, 1,000 attestations within 5 years. But FirstBatch wants to create a beautiful user experience, which is smart, fast, and cheap for users. Just connecting your socials, FirstBatch AI generates your hundreds or thousands of attestations for you, and then you can directly interact with your favorite apps, and you can earn badges, you can earn incentives and rewards within crypto. So our goal is to kill this long pipeline that we have right now and create a really beautiful UX for users to create their attestations instantly. And what the point is, yes, you're right, we are looking to socials because we understand that people, where we interact with communities and how we interact with communities defines who we are, our interests and our personalities. So we think that these data points are great sources to put on chain and to have this immense experiences with the knowledge proofs.
Really, really cool. So basically, you're creating this AI that you come onto FirstBatch, and it's going to pull in your basically online digital identity from all your social networks that you're currently using, whether it's from Discord, Twitter, etc. And then using that AI, it's then able to use gestations to put it all in together to have this cohesive online being on chain that you can now go and monitor across all of the different places that someone goes online.
Yeah, great. Yeah, that's it.
Which is really cool. And again, this is a concept that I haven't heard be done in this way. And it's FirstBatch is trying to put your identity and self-representation of your interests, relationships, social activity, and more. And by utilizing the AI, you're able to pull in your identity from your social data. So walk us through someone who's listening to this right now or what you're building towards, right? So if I'm listening to this, I'm like, wow, this sounds really cool. I would love to be able to pull all my social identity into this one location and into FirstBatch. Walk us through, what does that journey look like?
Yeah, that's great. So right now we have 20 plus early adopters, some of the best crypto socials identity protocols that's working on FirstBatch mainnet. And the thing is, but by just connecting your socials, let's say you just want to connect your Twitter, right, or Reddit, because everybody have different personas and everybody have different tastes of choice. So let's say I'm a user who is really interested in Twitter and who doom scrolls in Twitter for many years. I connected my Twitter, then I mint a gasless free persona NFT, which is soul bound, non-transferable NFT, right? And then FirstBatch creates attestations for you. Let's say I'm a guy who is really interested in Golden State Warriors. I'm a guy who's really interested in genderless fashion, K-pop, etc. I love to listen Jay-Z, and I love Me-Bits as a collection as well. And there's tons of attestations instantly in a second that FirstBatch generated from your social data. And then let's say if you are a guy who wants to use that protocol as a crypto social, with these attestations, you can have great feeds on crypto socials. You can have rapid matchmakings with people you want to have spend time with within crypto. As a creator, you can have great aggregate data analytics to interact with your community with established data. The FirstBatch can provide any different kind of data for yourself with its toolkit. If you're a creator, user, e-app, metaverse, anything, we have different value propositions for all.
Which is a great way to build community quickly, right? So the idea is you come in, you link up all your socials, and you get all of these different stations, as you're saying, that is helping you to establish your online brand and identity so that you can then go and join some other communities where you have similarities. Like you said, whether it's the Me-Bits or maybe you're really big into certain NFTs, et cetera, you now can go online, see this with someone else and be like, here's how we can connect. Here are 3 different things that we are also both keen on, and here's how now we can connect and grow as a community.
Yeah, that's right. And thus, we are really believe in identity protocols. And maybe I can give a metaphor. Lots of our listeners know Alchemy, right? One of the best node providers, $20 billion software infrastructure. And these guys leads to OpenSea, like MakerDAO, like Binance, like platforms that right now billions of users are using. And our main goal is to provide an infrastructure, an attestation infrastructure for identity protocols. Like there are lots of identity protocols building great value like Disco or like CyberConnect, etc. And our goal is to be a layer 0 for these guys, to be an infrastructure that can be created millions of or billions of attestations instantly. So yeah, you're right. We want to be a tool and infrastructure for all of the community builders, not just users, but as businesses to use and scale with.
And something else that I think is interesting about what you're doing with your proof of interest is, you're trying to be able to apply this to dApps, styles, other social platforms, and they're able to earn the native token batch. Can you kind of talk us through what is the utility around the batch token?
Yeah, of course I can have. So we didn't release batch token, and right now we are building our infrastructure as a classical model because it's a bear market and we want to be simplistic and plain for our customers and our community. But our goal is to, when we have great investors, users, and community and customers, we want to release batch token. And with the batch token for the apps, metaverses, it is going to be the token that you are going to spend per interest-gated interaction with users. What I mean by that is that, as a classical API model, if you have 10,000 users who are you get proofs and who are you utilizing with your batch toolkits, maybe we can talk about it after this, because it is right now a bit vague, I know that. And you can spend batch as a DM, but as a user, if you prove yourself, you earn batch as a reward and incentive. But when you earn batch, if you hold batch or if you spend batch, let's say within the airdrop queues, right? Let's say Optimism has a airdrop and there was 1 million contributors, but after reducing the sales with FirstBatch, you have 100,000 people who are eligible. But with FirstBatch, we give you the proof of interest, proof of personal time, proof of belonging, and then let's say Optimism is just want to send their tokens to certain type of attestations within both their wallet data and their social data, and Optimism just want to do that for 50,000 people. And if you want to be the first to have this token, by spending batch token, you can get in the queue, get in the first list, and you can have the token first, which has different kind of values with vesting schedules. Maybe there are some of the protocols, they are supplying their tokens, but in the meantime, they just cut it. some of the users is out of the airdrops, etc. So batch token have these kind of utilities in airdrops. And with the metaverses, if you're holding batch token as a user, if you want to, because as an anonymous user, we don't have that much of data in the metaverse, right? But with onboarding these attestations, we can navigate users to their best places. Like let's think about an experience within the Decentraland. You are walking and interacting with Decentraland, but you don't know where's the best place, where all your friends are, where's your community are, right? The FirstBatch directly navigates you to these places to spend the badge token for great interactions, events, interest gating, anything within the metaverse.
So you're trying to be that ultimate bridge connector across, because you're, in an interoperability play and being able to go across different chains and have that proof of interest, that the badge token that is being utilized across all of these different ecosystems and different places that people can go and participate. Now you have us straight into finding that initial community in each of these places that are being recommended to that potential person. Something else that I thought was really interesting that you brought up that I want to spend a little bit more time on is the concept of airdrops. So with owning things around like the batch token, and by being one of those initial people that are trying to get something by owning the batch token, you're saying that they can be then airdropped as a way to receive those funds. Can you kind of walk us through that a little bit more?
Yeah, of course I can have. Like within the airdrops, but the problems that we have is first, there are civil attacks, there are bots, but airdrops I think they are beautiful. Why? Because we supply our tokens to retail investors and to the mass, and it leads to mass adoption with crypto. Like last bull cycle, we had millions of airdrops, and these leads to 10 millions of different retail investors came into crypto, right? So if we can add a security and efficiency layer with FirstBatch, we believe, and I believe there are going to be different layers that will create a healthier environment within the airdrops, that we can supply tokens of any centralized protocol to the masses really efficiently. So within FirstBatch, it is just like this. We are not supplying our token just on. Like if you want to get into the airdrop of a layer one or the D app of a metaverse, please go. And if these guys are using FirstBatch, and our goal is to have all of them within 3 years, and if these guys are using FirstBatch, you are, by proving yourself, your alignments and attestations to these protocols, and you are acquiring their token, and then there's an additional incentive layer, and we are providing you with batch token as well. So our goal is, if they are not scammers, bots, or maybe not the best fit for their protocol, if they're approved users, we are not just giving them the token of their platform, the airdrops, we are also providing batch token as well. So we want to create a great experiences with high value rewards for each users, and we want to create an ecosystem with users who have high value interests and high value attestations have the most. Because we believe that if you are a person who interacts with both Web 2 and Web 3 in a secure way, in a healthier way, financially, socially, anything, we believe that you have to be one of the best personas in Web3, and we have to act like it. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's spend some time there. So someone's listening to this and they're like, hey, I have a really good Web 2 audience. I'm trying to bring it to Web 3. I've been trying to find a really cool onboarding tool into this. And they're like, FirstBatch sounds like it could be a really cool place to start. Walk us through, for that person or someone who's listening to this right now, how they can come on and start utilizing FirstBatch.
Yeah, but as a user, or as a creator, or as a business, I want to, yeah.
Let's do all three.
Yeah, all three. All right, that's great. So as a user, like maybe your on-chain data is, because everybody has different economic background, right? But maybe you are a great people who are great interactor with the communities, with the webs itself. So if you provided value to Web2s and wallets, well, not your financial data, but your contribution socially, organically, batch infrastructure and batch pipeline can create a great value for you. Because with that, if you can get the airdrops you are not eligible to financially, you can obtain great experiences within the metaverse, which you are not eligible financially. For users, we want to democratize these experiences for creating not just token-gated, but also interest-gated experiences. For creators, right, you say they have a great community and great data analytics tools within Web2 socials, right? But they want to have these kind of engagement tools, let's say, within Web3 socials to build their audiences and to have more token-gated economies within. So with FirstBatch, you can create this Web2-like attestations in Web3 networks, and then you can have the experiences of Web2 socials, like creating different kind of token-gated experiences, having fundraise with create a DAO for an influencer, etc., which we can provide value to yourself. And as a business, let's say a real life case studies, like right now, 7 Fortune 500 is working with FirstBatch, and these guys are looking for opportunities within the metaverse, especially within the metaverse. Because why? Metaverse is marketable. It is one of the places that mass adoption is going to come really fast. But these guys have, let's say, customer personas, community personas until 2025, and they have KPIs as well. They want to hit. So, but when they are looking at places, every user is anonymous. So they don't have much of data, and wallet data is not enough because these guys don't understand NFTs, fungible tokens, how we can create customer personas. The FirstBatch comes and it says, hey, relax. We can analyze all of the lands that we're looking for, places looking for within the metaverse. We can give you segmentations, attestations, and then you can find the best places to build your brand and build your community with. I believe these are the 3 cases that I can talk about. Yeah.
Which is pretty remarkable when you think about someone who either has a brand or even has a company, and you're trying to find, you have your ideal customer profile or whoever it is, your ideal audience that you're going for. This is going to streamline that so quickly and help get you in front of that audience so that you can build so much faster, because a lot of the times you have an idea of who your audience is, but you don't necessarily market and try to get in front of them as quickly. This is helping you to laser focus from day one and really start to build out that way and have the right type of community around you that really does support the types of things that you're into. So that, it sounds pretty remarkable, man. And again, just bringing all the information that you were able to build in Web 2 over into Web 3, and the fact that y'all have been building this for, a year and a half, regardless of what's going on, it's been a journey. Can you kind of walk us through like the importance of making sure that you're building something very sound before trying to just quickly launch while something's like in a bull cycle, et cetera?
Yeah, great question. Because the thing is, we were building in a bull cycle and everybody was like investors, advisors, you can think of many of them, and they were saying, hey, let's release. But we as a team, we started from the bottom. We were just 2 founders. And right now our management is 5 and we have 18 different team members and 11 engineers who are really excited to build FirstBatch. And the first thing we value is interacting with our community. What I mean by that is the community that is interested in building protocols over identities, and also communities like Starkware, Mentor Labs, people who are working on general knowledge proofs and snarks. So we had like meetings each week with lots of teams. We provided feedback. They used our test net. They gave feedbacks. We built on and on and on. And then when each month we look at the cases. What are the ratios? What are the error rates? Is this going to be scalable? The scalable protocol that we want? Because we had the funding and we have the team to build it. So we want to be like our release to be perfect. Like, it is not perfect, of course. We are going to have different milestones that we want to hit within our roadmap. But as I talk about it, we believe this bear cycle is really important. And within this bear cycle, there's going to be what we had with DeFi. We are going to have this with identity. So we want to be one of the frontiers. So this was our process. It was not easy because we had some different opportunities, let's say, that we can release earlier and get some attention from our token, etc. But we waited, we built, and right now we are ready. And this creates a great technical moat for ourselves, because as there's a technology that I've been working on for 7 years. There's a knowledge technology and infrastructure working on 1.5 years. And also there are lots of different feedbacks and early adopters from our community within the crypto businesses. So we believe that we are firm and sound and we are ready to go. By the way, we are releasing like 1 week after today. So yeah, it is really close.
That is really exciting. And, when you're building that long and you're waiting for the release dates to really get it out there and let people come in, it's an exciting buildup. So congratulations on that. I know how much preparation and just putting your head down and grinding through it all and not releasing too early, because that's also been a big issue where some companies, because times were bullish, decide to release before the product was ready. Y'all said, nope, we're going to release it when it's ready. And I'm sure you're going to see the fruits of the labor from that. So kudos to y'all. And again, exciting things that y'all been over at FirstBatch. As we kind of wrap up here, one of the questions that I typically ask, which I think would be really helpful here, is when you think about all of the information and knowledge you've been able to gain over the last several years building in this space, if you could go impart 1 to 2 pieces of wisdom to yourself when you first started building out FirstBatch, what would you tell yourself?
Yeah, it's great. It's a great question. The thing I will tell myself is like, community is not just an external factor that you are interacting with external players. It is an internal factor that lives in your firm, in your office, in your Slack, in your Discord. So community is everything, but it is your everything within your team. So I value my team a lot, but right now I'm valuing it more because we have a great team members. And there are guys that were like 20 hours for several months. They gave it their all. They believed in it. And the thing is, the mission, the belief in your mission and your vision is the anything within crypto, because there are lots of skeptics around crypto, and that we have lots of skeptics in the Web2 world and the tech giants, monopolies, markets. So if you believe in yourself or in your internal community and both your external community, then you can go to a place that no one can imagine. So yeah, this is the first thing that I wish I tell myself, like, believe in your internal community as well, just as an external community. Because as a younger, I'm young, but I'm a younger entrepreneur. You are like, there are lots of different attentions externally, right? Different kind of your communities, your users, your early adopters, and maybe your focus shifted them. But within this 1.5 years, I learned that the first thing that as a builder, you have to focus mostly on your team. So yeah, this is the first advice that I will give myself.
I think that is a golden gem. Everyone go back and listen to that, especially if you're building in this space right now. It's very easy to get focused on the externals, and the internals can kind of start to get out of whack if you're not giving it enough attention. So make sure that your foundation, your internal community is in a good spot, and then you can continue to focus externally. Really good reminder today. But Kerim, again, you've given such good information. How can people keep learning more about everything going on over at FirstBatch?
Yeah, right now we are revisiting our website, and we are going to release our website's new version within a month. And there's going to be lots of interactions within FirstBatch. You can just connect your social and connect your wallet, and you can use your test nets. You can prove yourself with your friends, with e-apps. But it's going to be really fun to use FirstBatch and test FirstBatch. And the other thing is, we are releasing constant content on our Twitter. You can, guys, look at it, and you can just DM me. I'm 724 available, and we are really open to feedbacks, comments, opportunities, and anything. So we are here, guys, and we are really excited to build this thing, and we are really excited to hear from you as well. Thank you, Richard. Thank you for this opportunity. It was a joy.
You got it, man. And I appreciate you joining us today. And everyone, make sure you go check out FirstBatch. But as we kind of wrap up here, what is a final thought that you want to leave with each of our listeners today?
Yeah, believe it is going to be a really sensitive, but believe in builders in bear markets, because they will create the biggest bulls of all. So please, it is going to be the best bull that we are going to have. I don't know when it's going to come. Nobody knows, but it is going to come, and the next cycle is going to be better than the cycle that we had. So believe in the builders, and yeah, I believe we are going to have a beautiful future ahead of us.
I agree, and I think that is a great final thought. Believe in the builders, those who are building during the bear markets and don't care about price and are just building something superior. It's going to be awesome. And I also think that the next bull cycle is going to be amazing. And it's because of incredible builders like yourself. So Kerim, again, thank you so much for spending time with us. Everyone listening, make sure you go check out FirstBatch. Their website is firstbatch.xyz. They are dropping a newer version, as Kerim said, really soon. So make sure you go check them out, join their socials, and participate. And we appreciate you all spending some time with us. And as always, stay cryptocurrent.